Multiples are something you're going to use when you want to find common denominators. The number 8. List the multiples of 8. So you start going through and you multiply 8 by 1, 8 by 2, so 8, 8 by 3, 24, 8 times 4, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 8 eighths are 64, 72, 80, 88, 96, 104, 112, 120, 128, and so on. If we compare those multiples to the multiples of 20, so 20 times 1 is 20, times 2 is 40, times 3 is 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, and so on. Now these two numbers, 8 and 20, share something in common. They have common multiples. So for example, 40 is a common multiple. 80 is a common multiple. And 120 is a common multiple. One of the skills necessary for finding common denominators is to be able to pick the lowest common multiple. In this case, the lowest common multiple is 40. And that would mean that if you had two fractions that had denominators of 8 and 20, let's just take, for example, 7 eighths, and you wanted to add to that a fraction with a denominator of 20, the lowest common multiple, or in other words, the lowest common denominator that you can use for this question is indeed 40. So I'll finish the question since we're on that concept. If I want to change 7 eighths into something over 40 and 11 twentieths into something over 40, I need to find what's called equivalent fractions. Just to mentally compare the denominators. 8 goes into 40 how many times? It went in 5 times. So if you change the denominator from 8 to 40 by multiplying by 5, you must also multiply the numerator by 5 to keep it equivalent. So 35 fortieths is equivalent to 7 eighths. Compare that to 11 twentieths to 40ths. So 20 goes into 40 twice, so 11 times 2 is going to be 22 over 40. 22 over 40 is equivalent to 11 over 20. It's reduced. 11 twentieths is a reduced fraction. And 35 fortieths is the equivalent to 7 eighths. If you're going to add these, just as a little precursor to what we're going to do in the next section, keep the denominator and add your numerator. This is going to give you 57 fortieths. And that's written as an improper fraction, which means that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. And we'll do a separate video on how to convert from improper back to proper, or a mixed number, coming up. One word of advice. If you were asked to find the lowest common denominator between two numbers, and you use the multiple method like this, you may wish to write out all the multiples of the bigger number first, and then try and find what the other number, in this case we did 20, 40, 60, 80, try and find, does 8 go into 20? Does 8 go into 40? Oh, look, it does. Great, you're done. And that is easier than writing out all the multiples of a very small number, like 8. Hope that helps. Thank you.